Prahlada continued to contemplate. O Self, it is your own light of purity that shines in the sun, your nectarine coolness that radiates through the moon. The heaviness of the mountains is derived from you, as also the speed of the wind. Because of you, the earth is firm and space is empty. Luckily, you have been realized by me. Luckily, I have become yours. Luckily, O Lord, there is no distinction between you, the Self, and me. You are I am you. I've often, perhaps provocatively, suggested, or said actually, that the Absolute is stumbled upon. You can't do anything to find it. If you want to do something, then really all you can do is be open to the possibility, and not have any fixed ideas about it. But whether you find it or not, it's a bit like seeing an optical illusion. You know, some people, it's like the illusion which shows a picture of either an old lady or a young woman. Which one do you see? It's the same picture. Some people might be able to see the young woman, some people might be able to see the old lady, but some people find it hard to see both of them. There's no technique for seeing one or the other. People can point out various features. They can emphasize that the one that you can't see is there, it's actually there. But whether you see it or not, it boils down to a matter of chance. We can maybe have all sorts of psychological reasons why you might not be able to see it. But eventually, with sufficient persistence, the penny drops. And this is how it is with our awareness. Awareness seems such a vague term. Yes, I am aware. I don't know what it is, but I'm aware. Sure, I'm aware. What does it mean? But can you actually look at it? It talks here about the Self being seen. And perhaps not in this paragraph, but in the previous paragraphs, we talk about seeing the Self. And that's in the sense of being aware of the Self. It is a very real thing. It's a very subtle thing though. But it is where we're coming from. It's at the heart of our experiencing. There's nothing you can do to get to it, to be aware of it, except stumble upon it. And I'm sure many people stumble on it several times a day without realizing what they've stumbled upon. And if they stumble upon it, maybe some people automatically dwell on it without giving it any consideration. These are people who will have a certain degree of peace and contentment about them. I think many people who stumble upon it might find it a bit uncomfortable, because it undermines everything about how they think things are. And a lot of people feel very insecure about their understanding of things, and will cling hard, they'll cling tenaciously to their limited understanding of things and get quite freaked out that things might not be as they think they are. So the first stage is luck. However, it's possible here that this luck thing is also just referring to the whole cosmic situation. It's luck in the sense of coincidence. Everything has arisen out of sheer coincidence. Whatever is referred to as you, the Self, or as I, whichever be the root and whichever be the branch, to that I offer my salutations again and again. Salutations to myself, which is infinite and egoless. Salutations to the formless Self. This salutation seems a little bit formal and archaic, But it basically means acknowledgement. I acknowledge the self. I acknowledge that awareness which underpins everything, which is responsible for the total creation. I acknowledge it. It acknowledges itself. You, self, dwell in me in a state of equilibrium, as pure witness consciousness, without form and without the divisions of space and time. Sometimes you can get a sense of presence. And in fact, I think some people who've got a sense of God, it's the same thing. A sense of something big. A sense of not being alone. But that presence, that God, is not something different from what is essentially us. The mind gets agitated, the senses begin to stir, and the energy begins to expand, setting in motion the twin forces of prana and apana. These are two modifications of the life force. They're usually associated with the in-breath and the out-breath. Drawn by the power of desires, the driver mind carries away the body made up of flesh and blood, bone and skin. However, I am pure consciousness, not dependent on the body or anything else. Let this body rise or fall, in accordance with the desires that move it. This is clearly referring to reincarnation, one birth after another. But the awareness is the same. How can we say the awareness is any different? The awareness at the heart of your being, it can't be any different from the awareness at the heart of my being, because it's got no qualities. It's that very thing within which qualities arise, qualities are experienced. So when we're talking about incarnation, body to body, we're not talking about personal incarnation. We can all be incarnations of each other. There's no difference between the fundamental awareness. Like space. Space is, no matter what the physicists say about curved space and so on, is qualitatively the same at any point. It'd be quite interesting if I did have a curve in space, because then you could actually jump from one point to the other. And maybe there are subatomic particles that can do that. But these are interesting theories and conjectures. The experiencing tells us that space is homogeneous. It's the same. There isn't more space here than there is over here. And even space with stuff in it is demonstrating the capacity of space. In course of time, the ego sense arises, and in course of time, the ego sense ceases to be, even as the universe dissolves at the end of the cosmic cycle. But after a long time of such cyclic birth and death existence in this creation, I have attained the state of peace and rest, even as the whole cosmos comes to rest at the end of its own cyclic existence. Salutations to you, myself, who is transcendental and who is all. Salutations to all of them that speak of us.